Welcome back to Living 808. Prior to starting her own real estate firm, Sandra Sagisi has worked for some of the state's top luxury brokerage firms and named multiple times as Who's Who in Hawaii Real Estate by Pacific Business News. This month, she is on the cover of Real Producers magazine, and now she's the principal broker and owner of Sandra Sagisi Hawaii Real Estate Services, LLC, and she joins us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Aloha. Thank you.
I see you online, but I don't get to see you in person, so this is a real treat.
Well, I see you all the time online. Of course, we started in television just about the same time, way back in the 90s, right?
Yes, I love this because, folks, if you do recognize her, she started off in television news, anchor and reporter, working in Utah, Florida, and then ended up here in Hawaii. And you were actually co-hosts or co-anchors with the legendary anchor Tim Tyndall.
Oh my gosh, I just loved Tim. Yes, we had a morning show together and it was called The Morning Show with Tim Tyndall. And he's one of the legends here in this town with CV, Bob Jones, great journalists of our time.
Absolutely.
So blessed to have been there with them. And as a reporter, I also had this opportunity of going abroad. In fact, do you remember President Marcos?
Yeah.
When he was sent to the Philippines, his body was sent. I was able to ride on a plane with Bongbong Marcos, who is now the president of the Philippines. And I had the opportunity of interviewing Imelda Marcos in her master bedroom. Imagine that.
Oh, yeah. Did you get to see the shoes?
That is, everybody asks me that question. How many shoes? No, I didn't. It was at the entry of her master bedroom. And she talked about her husband and her went on a 1-year honeymoon. So great stuff.
You know, before we get into real estate and all the stuff that you're doing, the wonderful stuff you're doing, let's talk a little bit about you, because you battled through some tough challenges as a child and again as an adult. How did those struggles help you to where you are now? How did it make you who you are?
Well, I think a lot of people, when you struggle, when you face death, and in my situation, I came from a very broken family. Mm-hmm. My mom was a widow early, and she married an abusive man who would grab me by my feet upside down and lock me in bathrooms. Really horrifying experience. Mm-hmm. And I saw my mom struggling paycheck to paycheck, and eventually that was in the Philippines. I was born in the Philippines. Yeah. But we broke free, and when he found out that we were going to move to Hawaii, he put us in a room, put a gun to my head, and didn't want us to leave the Philippines at all. Eventually, she broke free. We came to America, and I saw a single mom, like I said, living paycheck to paycheck, and we lived in termite-infested homes to the point where you touch the walls and all of these pepper termite eggs would fall. Ooh. And I said to myself, I am never going to get to that point again. I want to make sure that I have a nice family and where we can live in a nice home. And so now what I do is I help single moms, not only that, but people who want to own a home in Hawaii and a piece of paradise. And I teach them how to purchase homes with no money down, and also how to take advantage of their home equity so that they can move on in life.
So is that how you got into real estate? That motivation?
That motivation, my mom. Every time I think of my mom, I always think, there's always hope at where people can move in and buy homes that are safe havens for them. And yeah, pretty much so. My mom inspired me.
What was the most interesting home that you sold? And what are some of the fun things that you do in real estate?
Okay, there was one home that I sold in Kailua. It was 120 South Kailua, Kalaheo Avenue, I think it was. And there was a big swimming pool in the middle of the living room. And one of my friends says, how are you going to sell this? This looks kind of odd, And I said, well, I don't know. At that time, I think it was like right after COVID, but a guy just passed by, knocked on the door, and he says, I want to make an offer on this home. I went, oh, okay. Fine. And he bought it and he turned it into it was right on the beach, almost on the beach, one house on the beach in Kailua. And it was a great investment for him.
I love all the stuff that you're doing. Thank you so much for stopping by. How can we follow you on social media, and then how can some of our viewers look you up and get in touch with you?
Well, I'm on social media, Sandra Sagisi, all the way across the boards, every single one of them. And each time I also visit like several countries, and I do all kinds of architectural vlogs, on my social media.
I guess that's the perfect way that we can follow you and get in touch with you. We'll have all that information on our website shortly after the show. Sandra, thank you so much. Good catching up.
You look great, and you look the same.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a while, but so do you. You're doing fantastic work. And there she is, right there on the cover. We really appreciate you stopping by. Much more on Living at 8 when we continue.